Hello, and welcome to another episode of Career Retrospectives right here on the Super Review Show. I am joined by my two great co-hosts, Kyle and Mike. What's going on, guys?
Hey,
Yo, what's going on, man?
Yeah, so as the title of this video, this podcast, wherever you're getting your information tonight, we're going to be breaking down and reacting to Rolling Stone magazine's 50 worst albums by great artists list. Kyle's ready. He's got the garbage behind him ready to go. So he's ready. But yeah, Kyle's gonna share his screen in a sec. But yeah, we're gonna be breaking down and talking about the 50 worst albums by great artists on Rolling Stone magazine's article that just came out. So we're trying something new here today. So let's give it a shot, shall we? So Kyle, why don't you see what we got here?
Yep. All right. You guys ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Number 50, The Who's It's Hard. Terrible band, not band. Well, yeah, terrible band name too, but terrible album title. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know this one. I've never liked The Who.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've liked the Who, but I just don't know this album. I'm sure it's terrible.
I'm sure there's good reason for it.
I'm sure it's terrible. Actually, the only song I know off of it is Eminence Front. Do you guys know that one at all? That song?
Nope.
It's an Eminent Front. I wasn't sure. That's the only one I know off of it. Other than that, I could see why. I love the Who. I've seen them twice personally, but that's just me. I agree their name is kind of questionable. Yeah, the only song I know is Eminent Front, so I can't really judge anything else outside of that.
Yeah, I've never even heard that one.
Oh wow, okay.
All right, another one JT can hit on more than
Oh god,
me.
here we go.
49
Yeah.
Billy Joel's The Bridge. Full
All right,
disclosure, never listened to a full Billy Joel album in my life.
Which I will admit, there's bad stuff on every album except like two. But yeah, I'm not even kidding. Look, here we go. So, all right, Billy. First off, this is his weakest album. I would say arguably even weaker than his 1975 album, Street Life Serenade. However, ironically enough, it has my favorite Billy Joel song on it, which is A Matter of Trust. I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah, that is my favorite song of his. And it's just like, it's on this album of all albums. Just some really quick backstory. There's two, this was an in-between album, a transitional album between An Innocent Man, which turns 40 this year, by the way, from 1983 to 2023. It's a transitional album between that one and Stormfront, which was a much more modern rock of 1989, 1990, which had We Can Start the Fire, I Go to Extreme, stuff like that. This was a transitional album between those two. And there is one song, I don't say this word often. There's a song I hate on this record. You know me, I don't say it that often, but I hate the song Getting Closer so much. It's so annoying to me. It's so it's the last song on the record, and it's boring. And all the Billy Joel fans like, well, clearly you don't. No. It's a boring song. It sounds terrible. I know, like the hardcore fans are like, well, clearly pushing their glasses back at the same time. You know, this is an album. One of his more weaker albums. I'm gonna go off on my tangent in about 5 seconds, but I'm gonna try and keep it down. But Code of Silence, as it says here, Code of Silence and Getting Closer are two of the. He's never played those songs live, and for good reason. Let's just say it that way. I actually agree with this. I agree with this one personally, but that's me. Any other comments for that at all? Or you guys heard it? You guys?
I don't know too. I honestly,
I don't know
I'm
a
such
single song from this one.
And it's weird because I'm like such a album guy for certain bands, and then other bands I'm a hits guy, and that's
same.
a big issue for me because like I really should have listened to full albums of artists that I like noticed that I like the hits of, but instead I just stayed up with the hits, and then I got into the albums of certain bands that I came upon, but it's just I'm at that disadvantage where I know the hits on the album but not the albums in between songs. So
But yeah, like ironically, my favorite song is A Matter of Trust, and it's on this album. Like, what could it be on a different album? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Kyle, you got anything?
No, I got nothing.
All right, cool. Gotcha.
48.
We don't have as
We
much,
got
so-
we got 50 albums to make it through, so we got to
Yep.
be quick.
We gotta
48
make it quick.
Van Halen's Van Halen 3. JT, me and you have ripped this one to shreds in our Van Halen discography breakdown.
Yes, we did.
So I won't say too much on it. If you want more in depth, you can go listen to that. But this is one of the most disappointing records ever made. Is it one of the worst records ever made? I don't think I'd go that far. I mean, like musically, it's okay. Vocally, they have Gary Sharon trying to sound like a Sammy Hagar, like imitation, which Gary Sharon's a great vocalist.
He
I don't
is.
know why they had him sing like that on here. Lyrically, it's cheesy in a not good way. Completely agree with this one being on here. Honestly, it should be higher on the list for me. It's what a disappointment.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything Mike at all or no?
No, I don't know that album either. I'm gonna
For
be
good reason,
I'm gonna
Mike.
be I'm gonna be very selective in this list. I don't know too many of these albums.
Oh, God. And Gary Sharon's
Yeah.
like you said, he's great. I saw Extreme recently, and they're like, what happened? It's just questionable.
The dude has a great voice. I just think that they didn't let him fully use it here and just tried to make him sound just like Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
47, Grateful Dead, Built to Last, another band I don't like, so I don't know anything on this album.
Yeah, I don't know them. I know just their hits, just the songs that they're most known for, but
I
yeah.
don't hate Grateful Dead. I just haven't listened to them enough to make an opinion. So
Yeah,
I
actually
can't
like
really
them.
I can't make a judgment on this one. So yeah, we can go past it.
I also have nothing to say on this one. I don't know if
Yeah.
you do as well.
No,
Outcast, Idlewild. No, I got nothing.
It was after Hey Yeah, that makes me feel any better.
Yeah.
Or Southern Playa, whatever. I don't even know how to say that.
Oh God, Mike.
45, Willie Nelson, Countryman. Got nothing to say on that one.
Yeah, no.
Nothing too crazy about
I've
Never
never
been a Willie Nelson
guy. Same
No.
thing. Hey, Jinx.
Hey,
Hey, with it.
REM, Around the Sun. This one I never actually listened to. I actually like REM.
Yeah.
Just never got around to this one.
Same
So
here.
I,
me neither.
can't really speak on it.
Yeah, same. I
This is
don't know
another
that.
one of those bands that like Mike was talking about. This is same for like Billy Joel for me, where I'm kind of a hits guy with them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like love REM's hits and
Yeah,
some
me
other
too.
one-off songs, but I don't know if I've ever actually listened to a full REM record.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
heard
think I know anything off this one.
I heard a really good REM song on a it was like a radio station recently that somebody in this podcast was on for an hour. So it was actually really good.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It
Sorry.
was good.
Plug for me.
Oh,
All right,
God.
Mike, here you go.
My
Metallica,
Oh,
Pain and
there he
Anger.
goes.
Just such a-
I'm gonna be that guy real quick. I
Oh,
don't
no.
think this is the one that they should have went with. I don't like this record. Don't get me wrong. I do not like it.
Yeah.
But out of all their records, this should have been Lulu, the one they did with Lou Reed.
Oh yeah, okay. I see where you're going. I
But
think
if we're doing just strictly Metallica ones. Yeah, this is
yeah,
this is
I think that
garbage.
other one was like expected to be bad. This was them thinking it was good, and like it wasn't an art, an artistic kind of like risk or like something out of the box. This was just like, hey, we're awesome, and then the production is literally some of the worst
So
production
bad.
I've heard. The vocals are the true embodiment of why Metallica is no longer themselves. Even in their newest release, the vocals are not good, and these are just the proof that like freaking Hetfield's voice is just gone. Like too much booze and freaking I
Too
don't
much
know,
booze.
too much booze.
That-
Yeah, I
That's
don't
so
know, like,
interesting because I never thought Hetfield's voice was a problem for me
really.
on all this stuff. Yeah, I've
Oh.
loved his voice throughout their whole career. For me, this one is just not going to beat it to death since it's already
Yeah.
been done. But that snare drum sound,
Oh, it's just horrible.
god awful. The fact there's not a single guitar solo on the record.
Yeah,
Like you got Kirk Hammett, use him.
and just that album cover literally looks like a turd. I'm sorry, but like it really does. Like it's just everything about this album screams like it's just bad, and and it came out in a time where music was kind of heading towards this more modern kind of like turn for like, I remember when that year came out, I remember hearing about this album and it was just such a disappointment. It was bad.
Well, I mean, it was kind of that weird transitionary period between, you had grunge and then you had new metal, and this was still kind of like that late new metal era, whereas like more industrial.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe they were drawing from that, but I will say there's about 3 songs on here I really like. I think Frantic is a really good song. Saint Anger itself is pretty good, and Shoot Me Again I like quite a bit.
My favorite part is when it ended.
I'm pretty much there with you. It's not their best. 42, The Clash's Cut the Crap.
Oh man.
I don't know anything on this one, to be honest with you. As much as I like punk and I like the Clash, I just never really got into this to listen to this one.
Yeah, and it's tough because like those bad albums are the ones I stayed away from. Like I never like went around going, I gotta listen to that bad album because it's like it's so bad that I'm gonna just be pissed off. I tend to stay away from those albums, and the ones that I got unfortunately tricked into listening to, like Saint Anger, like thinking maybe that song wasn't that bad. I had like regrets. So.
Yep.
But I do know, there's hits. It's just not from this album,
Well, yeah, this is when they tried to kind of reinvent themselves after, like half the members left or whatever.
Yeah.
Tried to reinvent the band here. I've heard a couple of songs on it. It's nothing great. Definitely shouldn't have happened. So I can see why it's here. Never heard this one, Genesis, Calling All Stations.
Yeah. I want to listen more.
I didn't even know that they did any music without Phil Collins.
Oh yeah, they did.
Other than their pre-Phil Collins stuff, I know that stuff, but they're after Phil Collins leaving. I was not aware they continued with that.
Yeah, no, they did. I can't really say anything else though.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's so whatever.
This is another one I've never heard. JT, right. This might be more of your alley.
This might be my.
The Kinks present a soap opera.
Yeah, so this is one of those weird albums in between Lola, which is 1971, which is as old as my dad, which is, just give you some insight there. For those who are wondering. That came out in 71 was Lola. This is 75. This is between Lola and Come Dancing. Come Dancing was a huge hit in 1983 off the album State of Confusion. This one, though, not super familiar with, but I mean, probably for good reason. It's probably just not like, it probably didn't get the light it deserved. I mean, to me, the Kinks are a band that always got like a really, they kind of get slapped around a lot, even though their quality of a lot of their concept albums are really good and stuff like that. They're kind of like underappreciated to that extent, but this is one I'm not super duper familiar with. This is,
according to this, it's packed with spoken word dialogue.
Oh God, then never mind. Maybe I shouldn't listen to it.
I'm not a spoken word guy, so
I mean,
sounds not great.
I am, but I said there's a difference between good spoken word and bad spoken word, and I'm feeling this is gonna be awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish there was like a sample of it that we could hear, just like a quick like a compilation of like 10 or 15 minute clips or seconds of clips, whatever. But
yeah, it's all right. I might actually go back and listen to that just for curiosity purposes, but that's me.
Yeah.
Again, this one might be another one JT could speak more on if he's aware, but the Monkees Changes. Again, never been a band for me.
The Monkees have always been a band that's like, they scream the 60s and 70s. It's almost ridiculous. Outside of like, was it I'm a Believer, and outside of Last Train to Clarksville, I'm more familiar with their 60s stuff more than their 70s stuff. And this came out in 1970, so I'm not as familiar with it as I thought I would be. But I mean, the Monkees kind of like petered off after like the late 60s and like the psychedelic movement, like Pink Floyd came out and like the late.
They definitely petered
Something like
off because Peter Tork quit, so he kind of petered it off. I mean, you put it out there. I mean,
that Mike, kudos to you. What's your Venmo? And I'm gonna give you $20.
All right, there you go. Send it
All
over.
right.
Send
But
it
yeah,
over.
no, I but outside of that, I can't really make any comments about that specifically. So,
Yeah, for sure.
oh wait,
Yeah, I
Gonna
don't
be
know.
controversial for me. I don't like Prince at all.
Kyle. What,
So I don't
Kyle?
know anything on this one.
Kyle, come on.
I don't know how you guys feel about Prince, but I could never get into it.
What's funny
I-
is my
Yeah,
favorite
but-
Prince album was the Batman soundtrack when
It
he
was
did
this one?
the
What is this?
like this one. No.
Oh my
I
God,
wish
oh
I
my
knew
God.
these albums, but I'd stayed away from the bad ones.
Yeah, the ones that are reaching off in the pile. They're like, you're like, you're like, get away.
Yeah,
Mike, do you have anything? I have a little bit of stuff. I'm not allowed. Do you have
nothing on
anything?
this. No.
I mean, this is like this is mid to late 90s Prince. I mean, early Prince is obviously like songs like 1999 and Let's Go Crazy. That's his his signature stuff. But I mean, this is like later career Prince, which I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, I'm a big fan of when artists of their time come out in their time. So like mid 90s Madonna, I could care less. Mid 90s Michael Jackson could care less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like unless it's like early 90s when they were like still striking hot, like they had like Michael Jackson's Black or White album or stuff like Prince's I'm forgetting what it, like the Batman soundtrack, from 89 into 90. That's one thing. But this is one that I personally have not listened to, but I can kind of see why, because it's from that time period of the mid to late 90s, before 1999, ironically enough. But yeah, so that's just my own knowledge on that. Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac's Time at number 37. Never
I'm
been
not
a
a
big
Fleetwood
band for
Mac
me.
fan. Yeah,
No.
same, man.
So I'm the one here that I saw Fleetwood Mac live. I did. I saw them live in 2019. I'm gonna repeat what I just said about Prince. I mean, artists of their time is their best work is from Rumors and the first one with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, which was the one right before that. It was like their 10th and 11th album right there. So but that was their best critically acclaimed, financially. It was like that was Fleetwood Mac's time. And then they hit another stride in the late 80s with Tango in the Night. But this one came out in 1995. Again, you talk about an artist that could be on their own. Like, no one talked about Fleetwood Mac in the 90s. They only talked about Fleetwood Mac in like the late 80s.
Well, I mean, this is an album without Lindsey Buckingham or Stevie Nicks. So
that definitely that
how good
plummets
is it
it
gonna
down
be?
even more.
Like, no disrespect to the other members. There were a couple other members that were great, but
yeah. I mean,
when you miss two key members that made the sound really your commercially successful sound what it was,
yeah,
can't be surprised when it doesn't do well.
Right. Yep.
exactly. So, but yeah, that's I can see why. Oh god.
36 Kisses, Music from the Elder.
Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I've actually never listened to the full thing, to be completely honest with you. But from
Oh my god.
from what I've heard, musically, it's not terrible. It's just a weird thing for Kiss to put out. They're a band that shouldn't do a concept record, let alone one like this that just comes off very nerdy. And I don't know, it's not definitely, I see why it's on here. I would probably say it's their worst, but it's not terrible. It's not as bad as people say it is from what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't know too much about this one. Once again,
It's
I am
no
at the
career killer.
disadvantage for this.
Well, here I am to save the day, everyone. I actually plug for his audiobook if you can get it, or his book in general, Paul Stanley's audiobook, Face the Music. He did talk about this album in depth in his book, actually. He said how basically he didn't realize how much they really messed it up until after they put it out, because not only did they play the album from start to finish for record company executives, but on top of that, they put the songs, the final release is in the wrong order than they originally had it. So all the songs don't cohesively make sense story-wise that way. Next thing you know, you're like, oh my God. And then he said that when the executives heard the album when in the new order they put it in, their mouths were jaw dropped open. They're like, what the F was that? And this is what he said in his book. And this is right before Unmasked and then Creatures of the Night, you know what I mean? But like that, this is the weird time period of Kiss where they were like, you know, struggling a lot. They tanked really bad, and then they had to rebuild themselves by taking off the makeup. That's a whole other story for another time. But yeah, this was a struggle to get through. I've listened to a couple tracks from it, like, you know, like the single Shandy or I forget what it, the name. Yeah, you know that one. Like that was a hit abroad. It didn't do well in the U.S. at all, but in the European and Australian markets, that was a hit single. So, but yeah, but I could just see why it's like on the list. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I definitely see why it's here. It's not, from what I've heard, it's not like a horrendous release, and I wouldn't count it up there with some of like the big career. Like some bands have those career killer albums. I don't know if I'd say this was one of them.
No. I mean, they got back on track pretty quick with Creatures of the Night. So yeah.
35 Pete Townsend, Psycho Derelict.
This is when Pete Townsend
just by the album cover and the album title that I would not like this one. I also don't really care for Pete Townsend too much, but I don't know this record.
No. This one is. I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I will say that this is, again, it's like the Who in the '90s or Pete Townsend solo in the '90s. You know, it's not anything too special. So,
right,
they kind of like petered off at that point.
Petered off. They petered off.
34.
Petered off.
Aerosmith's 9 Lives.
Yeah,
I don't hate this one. I'm kind of surprised this one's on here. I don't hate it. It's not. I don't think it's a bad record.
I agree with you. I mean, there are, but the only two songs I go back to personally are "Falling in Love Is Hard on the Knees," which is just a great song for me, and "Pink." Pink is just, if you haven't heard the song "Pink" by Aerosmith, do yourself a favor and lose your virginity with your ears to Pink. It's hysterical.
Yeah, well, I think this one's like, it doesn't age well, and I think that's what makes it on the list, you know, because some of the songs are really, you know, they were the flavor of the time, and then when you move on from them, they don't like do well with the, you know, like when you're looking back into their discography and saying, is this music that I think sounds good to listen to today? And, you know, only I would say it's probably one of the few ones that has, like, you know, not a stay quality.
Mike, their what? Their discography? What'd you say?
Discography.
The
discography. Yes. Yeah, their extra soggy discography. Yes.
I mean, I got nothing on this next one. Devo's Smooth Noodle Maps.
They whip it good.
Yeah, it was. Other than Whip It, I mean, do we really need to talk about Devo? I don't think so.
Nope.
I know nothing about that. Never even heard of this person.
Me neither. Yeah.
Liz Fired 32.
Liz Fair.
Oh God.
All right. Weezer's Ratitude. So, unpopular opinion. I don't hate this one. I know this is like everyone's go-to Weezer record to hate. I don't think this is too bad. It's not great. It's not good. Would I put it on this list? No. But, you know, like I said, to fill up some spots. But hey,
album cover is great. Yeah,
I love the album cover.
Yeah. That is pretty...
Dude, you know, just kind of Weezer's attempt at being more like mainstream pop type stylings, and I don't hate it.
But that's I'm just reading about it. I mean, Lil Wayne's on it.
Yeah.
Lil Stain?
Dr. Luke, a pop producer.
Strange.
Butch Walker. We all know how I feel about Butch Walker. Not a big fan.
Oh my God.
But I mean, overall, it's not as bad as people say it is. I think people just like to hate on it. All right, JT, another one for you here.
I have this on vinyl.
My regards to Broad Street. Never heard it. Couldn't name a single thing on it. This is like a compilation album of his from the 84.
Stupidly enough, I have it on vinyl. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for getting it for Christmas. It's like, It's really nothing special. The only good thing that's on it, I would say, is I think the song is on it. It's called "No More Lonely Nights." I think that's on this album. I forget. It's one of Paul McCartney's solo career songs that my dad actually can. My dad is not a huge Beatles guy to begin with, or a huge solo Paul McCartney Wings guy either. I mean, that's all me. But like with him, it's like he loves No More Lonely Nights. But I'm like, Dad, I thought you didn't like him. He's like, I like that song. Okay. And I believe it's on this record. I'm not entirely sure, but this is like a weird compilation album of a couple new songs,
re-recorded Beatles songs.
sort of. Yeah. It's
So now,
yeah.
here's my thing with this. I'm just reading. I'd never heard of this before, but he plays a version of himself trying to track down stolen master tapes for an album. Sounds suspiciously like what happened in 2003 to Green Day's Cigarettes and Valentine's album, where they claim that the master tapes were stolen, so they had to write American Idiot instead. Maybe they got an idea from watching a certain movie.
Maybe they did. Thank you, Paul.
That's
Exactly.
hilarious.
But yeah, this one is just you're gonna just call me crazy, everyone. I have this on vinyl. Don't kill me. My parents got it because my parents literally got it. They got it from because it's Paul McCartney. But yeah,
How bad could it be though if it's just a lot of redone Beatles songs with a couple other? I mean, if the songs are already good, how could they have been redone to be that bad?
I haven't listened to it in a while. It's been a while since I've listened to it, but it's not terrible, but it's like it's not quite like it might not be like a certain standard, if you know what I mean. It won't be like, it's like, oh, it's a Paul McCartney song or it's a Beatles song, it's a Wing song, you know what I mean? It's not like that's, you know what I mean? So that's just me.
Joni Mitchell, Dog Eat Dog. I got nothing to say on it. Do you guys?
No, I've never liked Joni Mitchell personally.
I like a couple songs.
That's like sacrilege to say.
I like a couple songs, but it's never been anything special.
Mike, I just peed my pants.
Another one I got nothing for. Allman Brothers Band, Brothers of the Road.
They're more big in the 70s than anything.
Yeah, never my kind of thing.
We just skipped over Mike.
No, I
was still Mike also had nothing.
Oh, okay, sorry, I wasn't sure.
Run DMC's Crown Royal.
All right.
Never knew that. Never known that one either.
I like Run DMC quite a bit. I don't know if I know anything on this one.
I have listened to this is like their last album that they did.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And I wouldn't go back to it, but that's me.
I usually really like them, but I don't even know a single thing on this one.
Yeah, they kind of took their 80s style and then they evolved into like, let's incorporate other types of
like
rap
more modern.
Like let's incorporate, like Eminem was just coming up, right, in like 2001 or whatever, 99. So
yeah, around that time.
Put it that way. Like it's like they took note of like, hey, let's see, like, wait, I got an idea. Like I'm talking like to J Master J, right? Yo, J. Here we gotta do. We gotta put a new album out that sounds just like new hip hop nowadays, but let's slap Run DMC on it.
I see it says Fred Durst and Kid Rock were on this. I'm gonna have to check this out. I like both of them.
Third Eye Blind was on it. What?
Yeah, well, we could stay away from that one.
What? That's wow.
Stay away from Third
The
Eye.
gumbo. The
Maybe
gumbo.
we have to try it.
I don't. It's questionable stuff. Maybe too many hands in the pot. You know what I mean?
This might be another one for JT here.
Yeah.
Madonna's American Life. I never liked Madonna, so I got nothing to say on this.
This is gonna seem like a very controversial opinion. I hate her.
All right, perfect. So we can skip this one. Unless Mike loves Madonna.
Mike, do you like Madonna?
No.
I should say I hate her, but I'm not a big fan of her. Let's put it that way. Especially because she's like the last remaining pop artist from the 80s. Oh my god, whatever.
Oh god, Neil Young, Fork in the Road. Another person I can't stand. Neil Young, never liked his music.
I like Neil Young, but I just don't know this album.
I like 2009 Neil Young, so there you go.
Yeah,
he still puts out music to this day. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think any of us have anything to say about Lil Wayne.
Little Stain.
No, you said it wrong. It's Little Stain.
The fact that he's holding a guitar in that picture. Come on.
For a
Yeah.
second, I thought I said 21st Century Breakdown in the other one.
Props,
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Cheap Tricks, The Doctor. I don't think I know anything from this one.
No, I like Cheap Trick, but no, I
Me
don't
too.
know this album.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Mike, this one might be more for you. The Full Circle.
Circle. I only listened to a couple songs off this, and I was literally just like, just nothing. It just didn't do anything for me. So I ever listened to the whole thing. This is kind of, in a weird, place for them, and it was just kind of, yeah, not good. I never really listened to the full album. I should have, though. That would have been an interesting listen.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
after
there's
Jim
some
Morrison's gone. So
there are some bands that should just call it a day when a certain fundamental factor of the band is no longer there. This is probably one of them.
yeah,
And
right.
this is coming from someone that doesn't even like the Doors, but can acknowledge like Jim Morrison's talent. So without that
Right.
kind of, it doesn't have that like charisma anymore.
Cool
Records on the
cover though.
Poop.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool cover.
Yeah. Hold on.
Carole King, Speeding Time, nothing.
I mean, Tapestry is one thing. That's another thing. But this is like,
Yeah, I got
yeah.
nothing on this one. Never heard this one.
Me neither.
This was the Queen and Paul Rogers era, but I didn't even know that this one was a thing.
Wow.
George Harrison, anyone? I got nothing on this.
I mean, it's George Harrison, but it's
I was never huge into George Harrison solo stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
Lou Reed, Mistrial. You might as well put all Lou Reed's albums on here. Hands Lou Reed's voice.
And his voice.
Put all
Also,
of the
how is this? You're going to acknowledge Lulu here. Also, though, I appreciate it. It's not easy to pick Lou Reed's single worst album.
Yep.
I'm glad we can all appreciate that.
One long
Lou Reed
history.
kind of sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
Respect to the guy and respect to influence on other music, but Jesus.
He was better off in the Velvet Underground.
Velvet Underground, yeah.
Much better than that. Nothing against him, but
Don't know anything about this one personally. David Bowie, Never Let Me Down. JT, anything?
Nothing crazy. I mean, this is where my knowledge of David Bowie kind of like peters off, I guess. Because truthfully, I mean, I just did it's funny. Let's Dance, his 1983 album turns 40 this year, so I was digging into some David Bowie stuff recently, but this one I just haven't dove into yet, so I can't really comment on it too much.
Yeah, I'm a big hits guy for Bowie, and I actually did listen to Let's Dance recently. My dad gave me that album to listen to, and I wanted to start doing an album by album kind of delve into Bowie, but I only know a couple albums once again.
The one thing I just want to side note really quick about Bowie. I want to say something really quick. Is that if you look at his career like this, the way I'm about to describe it, Bowie's career is like a house. Every single album was a different corner of a different floor of a different room of a musical house that he built over his career. And you could never peg him on one thing, which I applaud him for. But obviously this one is on the list. So
John Mellencamp, Chestnut Street Incident.
This is pre-Pink House's John Mellencamp.
Terrible album cover. Terrible album name. Don't think I know anything on this.
I
thought I would, but I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
That's God. That's got to go down as one of the worst.
Is he trying to look like
made album covers?
He's trying to look like Dracula there, or
yeah, I don't know what that is.
That's so questionable. Nothing too
Dracula phase.
The Jacksons.
2300 Jackson Street. I mean, I got nothing.
I mean, I can't even say I've heard of it.
I don't know who that
Stills.
is.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, Stills.
Stills from Stills. Yeah, okay.
I was just
I got nothing on that.
Yeah. Once again, it's kind of this list brings to light like how
all the problems with Rolling Stone.
They're just.
I was actually gonna say that at the end.
There's so many albums that are out there that like I'm sure somebody knows that, of a certain artist, but unless you're a mega fan, some of these artists have like 20, 30 albums,
Okay.
Here you go, JT. Elton
Yep.
John's Leather Jackets.
This one sucks. Out of everything Elton John has ever done in his career, like 9 times out of 10, whatever he touches is great, especially with his lyricist Bernie Taupin. I had a conversation back in August, maybe September of 2022, with a very dear friend of mine who loves Elton John. He has every single Elton John album on vinyl, as he's all 38 of them. He's that intense. Wow. Yeah.
Damn.
He said, I said, what's Elton John's worst album? He said Leather Jackets of 1986. I said, really? Why? I said the lyrics are terrible. So many questionable choices, sounds wise. So if you're looking to skip an Elton John record, skip Leather Jackets. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't know anything on this one either. Even the cover's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the cover looks like someone just, stock kind of like repeat image, change
looks like someone
the
pooped on it or something.
Change the color palette. Yep.
Change the exposure. Yeah, the
started pooping.
Far from
Van Morrison at number 12 is probably the latest release on here from 2021.
Wow.
I didn't even know that they were still doing anything.
He is, yeah.
I've never been a fan.
I mean, Moondance, a lot of his 70s stuff is great, but this is like
28 songs on this.
Wow.
Terrible titles. Stop bitching, do something. Why are you on Facebook?
Oh boy.
They own the media. That's a good point. Who exactly is the they they're referring to?
That's great.
Wow. This looks like, what that kind of reminds me of? An old man. An old man is sitting in his chair and he's just murmuring out things like, what's the deal with the Facebook? And like, and then someone just like writing it down, like, all right, Grandpa, slow down. I need to make an album about why you hate the world currently.
Now, I do think here, so apparently it must be like some kind of like right-wing political leaning album. Sure. But right here, this would be totally different. And this is one of the things I hate about Rolling Stone is their like blatant bias.
Yeah.
Because if this was the other way around, let's just all be honest with ourselves. If this was the other way around, they'd be praising it. If he was singing about how good the vaccine was and, about the other political party being bad.
Mm-hmm. It was the first.
I don't think people love this. That's how Rolling Stone is and has always been for, well, at least for the past 20 years.
Yeah. First sentence is talk about right off the bat, right-wing troll territory,
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
There's plenty of terrible left-wing music out there, but they're not talking about that, which whatever. Believe, I don't care. We're not getting into politics or anything like that, but I just don't like how this is what they point out here. Like out of all the things, like read this, there's nothing in here that really talks about the music itself being bad.
Just hating what it's about.
Like, yes, I will agree that this sounds terrible. Like it sounds like it'd be musically horrendous, but every other record on here, they've talked about how it's actually musically bad, which I'm not doubting that it actually is.
Sure.
JT, another one for you. The Beach Boys, Summer in Paradise.
The title track is the only good thing about it. But basically, this is coming up.
JT loves his title track.
Yeah, I do. I love a good title track. Don't worry. I love me a good title track. This is their worst album, though. I will admit that 100%. I did see him live like 3 times already too, but that's whatever. This is actually like a compilation of like a live album with other songs like mixed in there too. It's a lot of weird, questionable, crazy choices in there too. And they, as it says here too, they redid a bunch of their old songs and they meshed them and they remixed them to like a modern like 1992 standard. But I mean, they were coming off of Kokomo, which was a #1 hit in 1988. So that's it made sense for them to do this, but it just came out terrible. It was no bueno. No bueno.
I may just listen to this because John Stamos pops up to sing.
I was just thinking that.
And you know what? John Stamos, if you want to see John Stamos, he actually tours with the band too.
Yeah, he drums with them, doesn't he?
He drums, he plays guitar. Yeah. He's really good. Yeah.
Wow.
He's a very talented
guy.
Yeah.
Unstoppable Greek. Yeah.
Clearwater Revival, Mardi Gras. I don't think I know anything from this.
I just know the massive hits list.
Yeah.
I don't know. This once again, I'm at a disadvantage for this. I'm trying to become more of an album guy for groups that I come comfortable with their hits, and sure, I'm at a major disadvantage. I'm here for support.
Yeah, JT, you got anything on this?
I mean, nah, just go on.
Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, American Dream. I've always liked them better without Young. That's just me. I don't really know
Yeah.
anything about this specific record though.
Yeah, I can't really
Yeah.
comment on the record itself.
Same.
So.
Yeah. No, pretty much.
All right, hold on.
Here we go, JT. This is all
JT.
of you.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis Presley, Fun and Alpaca original soundtrack. There is no doubt about it in my mind. You got to remember.
Acapulco, he said alpaca. That's a type of a.
Shut up!
I just picture this giant alpaca like just chilling by the.
You
king.
can see
He's like,
Elvis riding an
oh,
alpaca.
alpaca.
Elvis is riding like in the middle of Tibet somewhere.
Don't be cruel, Mr. Alpaca.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. 60s Elvis is probably my least favorite part of his career because outside. No, I'm not talking about singles either. I'm talking about like he was in so many movies. The reason why he did a movie was to be part of the soundtrack, and he was only acting in the movie because his manager was like, "You should do this movie. You should do this movie." And sure enough, it's like he's, he's
not an actor.
He's not an actor. He's one of the best singers and vocalists of all time, and he should be on stage performing. But his manager was like, "No, you should go into the movie business." And he made a bunch of movies. Don't get me wrong; some of them are really good. Viva Las Vegas, actually, I really like. But this one, I can see why. There is no doubt about it. The average listener may not, but if you put your mind in like, oh, this is 1963. He had already been filming movies a lot by then. He was doing all the soundtrack for the movies at the same time. That's one thing. But for this to actually be like, this makes sense to me. There's just seeing Elvis Presley's fun, and I'm going to butcher it again. Alpaca, the original soundtrack.
Acapulco.
Fun in Acapulco. I could see it there. So whatever.
Yeah, this deserves it. John Lennon and Yoko Ono, unfinished music, #1, 2 Virgins.
Wow.
Yeah, this is just horrible.
Awful. Yoko Ono is one of the worst. You can't even call her a musician.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She is absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And John Lennon, gonna be that guy. Worst solo music of any of the Beatles. Absolute worst.
Yeah.
John Lennon fan. Honestly, I always thought he was the weakest link in my opinion of the Beatles. There you go.
Well, he wrote him and Paul wrote most of the music. I mean,
I always like Paul's stuff way better.
Paul
I even liked Ringo's stuff more than most of John's.
What goes on?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd rather listen to a mouse in a blender than listen to this album.
Listen to a blender? Is that what you just said?
A mouse in a blender.
Oh,
that sounds like her voice, like like.
So you want some mice smoothie or no?
Yeah, mice smoothie. Yeah.
Oh God, that's terrible. Oh man,
I'm going to come to this one's defense a little bit. Black Sabbath, Forbidden. This is one of the ones where it wasn't Ozzy era, it wasn't Dio era. It was one of those weird ones in between. It's also the only Black Sabbath record to feature another artist, and that being Ice-T, of all people. But Ice-T's pretty decently big in the metal community with his band Body Count.
Oh yeah,
who's really good. I love them. I don't think this one's that bad. I think there are other Black Sabbath albums that are worse. I probably would have put the one that was essentially a Tony Iommi solo album on here, but that was just given the Black Sabbath name for record label purposes. I don't think this is the one I would have used. It's not their best, but I wouldn't say it's bad. Also, the album cover is pretty sick.
Yeah, album cover is cool. I haven't listened to this, but it sounds like I think what they're trying to get at is when you don't have any of these staying points to listen to the band, there's no Ozzy, there's no Ronnie James Dio, there's it just comes down to like shreds of Black Sabbath just barely being there. I think it it's mostly, about that, and it's definitely sounds really bizarre.
Oh, it's bizarre, but I don't think it's bad. It's
Right,
actually
yeah.
decently solid. Personally, I think the worst one, like I said, is that one that's essentially Tony Iommi's solo album.
Hmm.
This
Oh,
should just
God.
be every Bob Dylan record. I'm sorry. Something about Bob Dylan's voice, I can't. It's like
Yeah.
nails on chalkboard to me.
Yeah, I don't know this one, but I just
I don't know
Respect
it,
the
but
hell out of the man in terms of being a songwriter. He's an absolutely excellent songwriter and storyteller. But
Mhm.
every single cover of a Bob Dylan song is better than the Bob Dylan version of that same song.
Yeah,
I mean, you got
definitely.
Hendrix is All Along the Watchtower, way better, and the list could just go on and on.
Yeah, never listened to it. It never will.
Pantera's Metal Magic, hair metal era Pantera.
I've listened to this. It's definitely it's a lot of this is it feels like another band, to be honest with you. It
It
feels like
does.
you're not
Their
it
first
doesn't
like
feel
3
like
records are essentially another band.
yeah, like I can't believe it made it to 4. I mean, like
That's gonna be the
it's
top
almost like,
review.
does it have the significance of other bands' albums to make it this far on the list, high on the list? Like I would debate that. I feel like this is just like pointing out the obvious, like, hey, this is when they were more glam sounding. Hey, this is when, like they really like the production wasn't great, and like this and that. Like, okay, like is it like one of those albums that everybody argues about? I would say probably not. I think people were just
No.
like, hey, uh they have elements of music that they just weren't set on, and couldn't, weren't mature, they didn't develop yet.
Oh, my favorite is looking at the pictures of them from this era where they're all
Oh
in
God,
the
yeah.
80s hair metal and glam metal outfits, and then seeing them next to the modern, well, not modern anymore, but yeah,
Mm,
like Glory Days of Pantera pictures where it's just blatantly like big, it's like Southern dudes.
yeah,
Oh, it's great. I don't know. I enjoy it. It's definitely, I see why it's here.
yeah.
I don't know if it's the worst of the hair metal ones, but it's not great. It's
Yeah,
pretty. It's standard like hair and glam metal, like you said.
yeah,
It's
it's
not something people are
nothing.
going to argue about. There's no like diehard Pantera fans that I know of
Right,
that are defending this record.
right, exactly.
Mike, this one might be more up your alley.
It should be. I just don't know this album. You know, I definitely should listen to more Yes, because my dad's a big Yes guy, and like I
Cool
want to
cover.
check them more out. Oh yeah, I really like the cover. It's really kind of trippy with the shapes and stuff like that.
JT, got anything on this one?
I'm not like the biggest Yes guy. I mean, outside of a couple hits, that's really all I know. So
Yeah. The Velvet Underground, Squeeze.
more Lou Reed.
Terrible album cover. God.
Yeah.
I got nothing on this one.
Well, let's just put it this way. I tried listening to one of their albums on the greatest albums of all time, and I thought it was terrible. So,
The
I
one with the
mean,
banana as the cover.
yeah, I
Yeah.
listened to that, and I
I
was just
couldn't
like,
listen to it either.
this album is a joke, and I
Yep.
hope anyone listening, that hurts your feelings, because to be honest with you, like it just goes to show you what's good and what's bad is very
Objective.
yeah, and that's unfortunately the way it is with some of these lists, is that some person has deemed that it bad or good, and by critics, whatever. So
All right.
yeah,
And now
nothing.
the
Drum
number
roll.
one, Kanye West's Yay.
It's
I
not. You're
am
not
gonna
even saying it
defend the
right.
hell out of this record.
Kyle, you
I'm
made me
gonna
listen to this,
defend the
didn't
hell
you?
out of this. I loved this. This is his masterpiece. This is Kanye's best work, and I will die on that hill. It is for better and worse at times. It's his bipolar album, and it's his last one before he went into that weird, like overtly like Christian preachy area where his music started to be like, he did the Jesus is King album and that was pretty bad, other than like Church on Sunday and maybe like one other song. And Donda should have been the one on here. Donda was a like 2-hour long piece of crap record that has 20 something songs. This is a short 23-minute album, and it is Kanye at his best.
You made me listen to this, Kyle, didn't you?
I think so, probably.
Yeah, I think I remember listening to this. I mean, literally to me, it was just kind of like was it his worst music ever? Like, it was definitely nothing special, but it wasn't like, you know, crazy bad or anything. It just wasn't I mean, I guess it comes from people who have listened to him and have like high expectations from him. That in a lot of ways that this list could embody. That is, we were talking about this before, the difference between a band putting out a bad album but having like albums that were okay before it and after it, versus a band putting out like monumental amazing albums and then like literally dwindling down to like something terrible. And I guess Kanye West has some amazing early on albums that he just kind of came to this
does.
and, yeah, so
He definitely does. And production wise is, this is definitely very different than his previous things. But then I don't think if they're going to put anything on here, it should have been Donda or the half released Donda 2, which is also complete garbage.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, like the song Wouldn't Leave on here is an excellent emotional rap song. Yeah. That she did end up leaving. So I guess that wasn't true. But nice. Excellent record. I don't think it deserves to be on here. I can't believe this is 5 years old as of this year. Feels like just crazy. Yesterday this came out.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean that's my thoughts.
There it is.
Overall, I think the list showed to me all the problems that I have with Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
In that there were so many, I think, glaring omissions from here of bands that are actually bigger and had more of an impact. Like there's a few Def Leppard records that should have been on here. Like truly album killing bands or like career killing albums that are missing from this.
Yeah, definitely wasn't. It's very selective in its choice of artists to pick.
And regardless of what you think of the music on it, that Motley Crue record without Vince Neil should have been on here. I think it's one of their best. But in terms of what it did for their career,
right,
absolutely tanked it. I think there's just so much that should have been on here. And I love Green Day, but I think that their last record should have been on here. But I don't know exactly what their criteria was for this list though, because at times it seems very much like huge like monumental missteps. Like you got like Saint Anger on here, right?
Right.
But then other times there's artists that I just never even heard of, or had were essentially one-hit wonders. I mean, like Devo is on here.
Yeah.
Outside of Whip It, how many other Devo songs can you name?
Right. Not many.
So I mean, I think there's a lot missing.
Yeah, definitely. I was trying hard to pick things from certain artists, but it missed a lot.
But yeah, all right. So we're gonna move on.
Yeah.
Ready when you are.
All right, Mike, you want to introduce this one?
All right. So I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of take a quiz together as a group and have a unanimous group vote which our favorite album or favorite artist was versus another artist, and finish this quiz out and see what if we have bad taste in music or not. I mean, sure, leave it up to the music gods to
leave it up to the
algorithm. Yes, we're gonna play the algorithm. So yeah, let's kick this off, man. So first we have Muse or Radiohead.
Full disclosure, I despise both of these bands.
Which makes it even more fun to have to pick between the two, because
for me, I don't even think it's not even so much the bands, because I don't really like either of their music.
Yeah.
it's the fans for me. I think both of these bands have equally the most pretentious fan bases in the world
Yeah,
that I cannot stand. It ruins the entire band for me. I
I'm going
might have to vote.
Radiohead here.
I was gonna vote Muse.
Okay. Oh, JT, you got it. You're the tiebreaker. Now, okay. Now, Kyle and I are lawyers. We're both gonna submit our argument. Okay. Muse's voice is so irritating, but at least Radiohead have some pretty cool kind of like different kinds of songs that have just a cool rhythm to them and whatnot. Muse, they're like Kyle was kind of saying, the whole presentation of Muse is just it's just irritating, and I just every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, shut this off. When I hear a Radiohead song that kind of zones me out, at least I enjoy it on an environmental level. Like I could drive and kind of like go into the music and kind of let me takes me on a journey, whether I remember it or not. Irrelevant. They bring something artistically. I think Muse has lost with their vocals. That's my argument.
I would argue that Radiohead.
You just said Radiohead sucks. I would have just like, thank you, Kyle. That was an amazing argument.
I can't even just. It's hard for me to argue for either one of them, but I will say for me, it comes down to, I think Muse's music. Yes, it's annoying. I think it's 100% annoying, but it comes off, the music itself comes off less pretentious, and the band themselves come off as less pretentious than Radiohead, and that is such a huge turnoff to me in music when a band is trying too hard to be like that sophisticated band for intelligent people. And that's the vibe I get from Radiohead, their music, and their fans. So for me, it just turns me off the band completely.
All right, JT, you're the
man,
tiebreaker.
I don't.
Someone unplug JT and plug him back in.
No, I'm just trying to process exactly. Well, here's the thing. I truthfully, I enjoy. Here's the deal. I enjoy.
Are you about to say you enjoy both, JT?
I'm sorry, that's not an option, sir.
I know it's not an option. I'm gonna say Radiohead.
Oh, okay. Yes, we got it. Good. Well done, JT. Well done. Yeah, in your face.
Well done, he said.
I mean, for me, I don't like either of these bands, but if I had to give it to one, I'd have to go Oasis.
And this is a rare time. One of the
worst songs.
This is a rare time when I hate the band, but I honestly don't know any Blur's music.
Song 2.
You know
Song 2.
Yeah. Oasis for me. I think it's unfortunately they had some more recognizable. JT, you in on that, or are you on a Blur?
I don't like Blur.
Okay, so we're all unanimous with Oasis. Okay.
All right. I'm gonna Black Eyed Peas, 100%. Love the Black Eyed Peas.
Oh,
with Fergie, Black Eyed Peas. New Black Eyed Peas without Fergie, not good.
This is the equivalent of like someone asking you if you like this tomato sauce or this other one that tastes like it has cheese in it. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a red, like the redneck sauce, like where it's like, yeah, it tastes like it's got cheese in it. And like choosing Black Eyed Peas is like the fun, stupid one where the roots are more like the authentic. My sister listened to the Roots and she always tried to play it to me. And honestly, I go Black Eyed Peas here just because I know a bunch of their songs, and I kind of like the dynamic that each member brings, whereas the other one just they all play the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, unfortunately, I feel like that's the worst choice.
Oh, come on, Mike. It's a great choice.
What do you say, JT?
Pow, my humps.
Yeah. What do you say, JT?
Growing up in a time period that we live in, I hate Black Eyed Peas to begin with. I hate so much modern music. How dare you? I hate so much modern music, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
I prefer to live in the 70s. But no, but given the choice of life or death in front of me, between the Black Eyed Peas and the Roots. What has the Roots done since they came out? Do we still hear about them? Do we know about them?
No.
I have to go with the Black Eyed Peas, though.
Yeah, that's pretty a good move. Good move.
Just saying.
Oh man.
Oh, Garbage or Blondie?
This is easy for
I
me.
just saw
Wow.
Garbage last year.
This is
easy for
easy
Blondie.
for me. Blondie.
Yeah, Blondie.
Garbage is
Blondie.
good, but I think Blondie just has more of those iconic hits.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've never been a fan of like a female fronted band who's trying to show a lot of attitude, like, and sell it that way. I like the female fronted band who can kind of have more dynamic to them, and I feel like Garbage is like riding on that. You know, JT, what did you say to it?
Oh, I said Blondie.
Yeah, JT went
Oh,
Blondie.
okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh God.
The-
Fish or the
the-
Grateful Dead? Oh, you're killing me
Yeah,
on
this
this
is.
one. I don't like either of them, but I gotta go Grateful Dead. I don't like any of those
Grateful
jam
Dead.
band things, but Grateful Dead
Yeah.
at least has some songs that are, on the more melodic and catchy side.
Oh man,
I agree. Grateful Dead.
yeah. I mean, Grateful Dead. There's no doubt.
Man. All
All
right.
right, Kendrick Lamar
Oh.
or Drake. I mean, this is not even a question. Kendrick
Kendrick
Lamar,
Lamar.
destroys Drake in any way. Lyricism, rapping talent. Drake is one of the worst rappers, and he's the most like beta male dude out there.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely go Kendrick Lamar. He's got more talent in the lyricism and.
But Kyle, no, I'm just kidding. I hate Drake. Put Kendrick Lamar down.
Drake is the
All
most
right.
annoying rapper there is.
He should be dead.
Interesting. Sex Pistols or the Clash?
Wow.
I gotta go Sex
Mm.
Pistols.
Really?
I mean, how many other bands out there have
I
released
gotta go with
one album, one record that changed music as a whole? People still talk about Sex Pistols today. They only have one record.
I gotta go the Clash. I'm sorry, but
Oh, what are you doing to me?
If this was Sex Pistols versus the Ramones, it'd be a different story. But between these two, I gotta go Sex Pistols.
yeah,
No disrespect to the Clash, I love them too.
yeah, I gotta go Clash though. I think that just personally, I feel like I feel like the amount of memorability for me, versus like you said, one has like a monumental impact, the other one has an impact.
Okay,
but more
Mike, let me throw this into the equation. Because of the Sex Pistols impact only one record, the Clash has had multiple missteps in terms of certain songs. And we saw on the list that last album they did.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear what you're saying. I still gotta go with Clash.
All right.
He's like, I still gotta go.
JT. All down to you, JT.
Oh, why is it always come down to me, man?
Come on, Jay Tizzle. You're the
Oh,
meat in
man.
the middle of
Anarchy in the
this
UK. Problems.
God Save the Queen, London
Mhm.
Calling.
Mhm.
Such tough decisions. Ah, God. I love both to death. I really do. That being said, this is like picking your favorite child at this point. It's like, oh God.
One that eats less.
The one that eats less. Oh God. Oh,
I
God.
love you. I love
All
you,
right. Well,
John.
listen, man. What the
Yeah, man. This is crucial.
sex?
Hell yeah.
He's
All
like,
right.
yeah.
Oh,
Greetings,
this is
Clearwater
killer.
Revival or the Eagles?
Oh,
It's CCR for
can't do
me
it.
all
This
day.
is like picking between your two children.
I
Sorry
know.
that I said that.
It's
No,
CCR
seriously,
for
this
me.
is so hard. Hold on. Hold on.
I mean, John Fogerty
Oh
alone
God,
sells
that's
it.
so. Eagles have so many good songs, though. Oh my God. I
But
mean,
for me, their lasting impact isn't there.
they're one of the greatest selling artists of all time. I mean,
I know, but today you still. Trust me. I hear you.
I gotta go Eagles. Shit. All right.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
JT, back to you.
Oh,
What?
dude, I absolutely love the CCR. Absolutely love them, and they have some timeless songs. But like the Eagles have so many different eras of time where they sound different. You know what I'm saying? Because their career went longer than CCR. And see, this is the big argument here. This CCR has them pinned at one era of time, and some like so many good songs in one era of time, but like the Eagles just kept going and like had so more of that 80s sound in their music, but then like but they were still pumping out. I mean, just the songwriters alone that continued on and on and on. It's unfair almost because they kept, it going. I mean, it's unfair,
I mean,
So,
CCR had that. You know me, I love that like raw attitude driven
oh
stuff.
yeah,
CCR had that by far.
100%. I'm with you. I love both of these bands. Have all their hits and like I know a lot of their albums too. So, yeah, this is. I mean, JT. Sorry, man, but unfortunately, we're leaving you as the.
I hate this.
You're like the child in the divorce when it's like, which you want to come live with mommy or daddy?
We'll buy you a dog.
Yeah, I'll buy you a dog. Your daddy lives in the woods and he chews tobacco. Mommy is lives in the city and she's rich.
Oh my God. All right. Well, so I love both. But if my mom is listening or watching, it's gonna be the Eagles. So
Yes. Yeah, in your face, Kyle.
All right. That's fair. Rancid or the Ramones? I mean, it to me,
Blitzkrieg Bob, mother
easy.
F.
It's the Ramones to me, hands down.
I
like Rancid.
And it's funny. I love Rancid too, but Ramones sounded a lot similar in their songs, which is kind of a major strike, like where you can kind of hear one song and then you can hear almost the elements of the same thing in the next song.
Oh yeah.
But they had a bunch of really good songs though, and it kept working. It's almost like when someone just keeps doing the same kind of thing, but they change up the melodies enough. But maybe not the way they played it, I guess you could say. But I mean, I even heard some of their newer stuff before they broke, like stopped making music, and it was like it was still good. Whereas like I know when the Wolves come out, like by Rancid, and I know a couple other stuff from them, but like really don't have the staying power that the Ramones had over the years. Yeah,
Ramones was consistently good throughout their entire career.
Yeah, right. Yep. And their fights was funny too. Like it was just worth picking them for that alone.
All right, here we go. Muddy Waters or Eric Clapton? I mean, Clapton, hands down for me.
Eric Clapton, yeah, for sure.
It's a tough. I could see where the debate would come out, but Clapton, yeah,
sure, Clapton, yeah.
Guns N' Roses, hand down, hands down.
Yeah. One hand down, the other hand's up. One hand's down. Nope, Guns N' Roses, down. Yeah. And a lot of people are gonna get upset, but Guns N' Roses, I'm sorry.
Led Zeppelin's one of the most overrated acts out there.
Ooh.
Yeah. And you know what? I think
what the heck was that?
I think that's a large part, in fact, due to the fact that they stopped playing music when they did. If they kept going to modern days, I bet you it wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, true. Yep.
Ice Cube or Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre.
Oh man. Let's see. That's tough.
Dr. Dre just based on depends. If we're going just based on like music, maybe Ice Cube. If I'm going based on their entire career, Dr. Dre is a much better producer, and the things he's had a hand in are so much more influential.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, Dr. Dre is more of a legend, like and has produced a lot more music than he's actually put out, though. Like, yeah. I was gonna go with Ice Cube, but what are you going with, JT?
Mike, you're going with Ice Cube?
I'm thinking about it, but
he's thinking about it. It's like I'm
thinking about it because like I personally think I like Ice Cube's kind of consistency in the in what he's put out versus like Nike. He obviously hasn't produced anything, but I gotta go Dr. Dre.
Just keep going.
Panic at the Disco or Queen?
I mean, this is like so easy. Queen. Kyle,
don't you dare!
Kyle,
Panic at the Disco for me.
Kyle,
they took. All right, hear me out. I'm not arguing to change your votes, but hear me out for my reasoning. They took the Queen formula and made it modern. And they built on it, and they have variation in their music as well. Both have ups and downs. Both have insanely talented frontmen. I don't care for what Queen has done post Freddie Mercury is what throws it off for me. If they let the band die with Freddie, might be a different story. I don't like the Paul Rogers era. I don't like the modern Adam Lambert touring stuff.
Yeah, but look at Queen. Do half of your members look like they belong in a painting in like the Victorian era or something?
No, we're not going based on looks. Cover.
I'm sorry, but that alone,
Brian May.
sways my.
Also, don't know why they use such an old picture of Panic the Disco.
Yeah, right.
When they all looked ridiculous.
I might go play Queen.
All right, well, Weezer, the Pixies. I mean, it's Weezer.
Boy,
Weezer.
Is tough.
This is tough for you?
That's tough for you.
Yeah, because Weezer, I only really like. To be honest with you, I really only liked the Blue album. Other than that,
But you like the Pixies?
I've listened to some stuff that they've done, and let's just put it this way: Weezer's one album is what's winning it here. I just wanted to put an asterisk next to that. Like if we're saying as an entire career, I'm gonna say, I honestly don't know enough of the Pixies to make a so I'm gonna have to go with Weezer by default, but I don't feel proud about it. I don't feel proud about it, man.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Yeah.
Lady
100%.
Gaga.
Yeah.
Although that Lady Cyrus.
Lady
Saga. Lady Saga. Lady Gaga. Miley Gaga. That Miley Cyrus song, the one that she did, that has the her more 80s sounding or
her latest album.
I like it. I actually think that's really good, but I mean it's not nowhere near as
Lady Gaga stuff is massive.
Yeah.
So good. I have no preference.
I'll go Beck because
which Beck?
I Beck, not Jeff Beck, but Beck. Jeff Beck's very talented guitar wise, but song wise, I think Beck has had some better songs, and I kind of like his real pretentious. I kind of do like a pretentious music artist when they can back it up with some cool musical things. And I mean, come on, I'm a loser baby, so why don't you kill me? That song is great. I mean,
JT, you're in agreement with Mike?
Sure.
All right, thank God, because if you weren't, I was just gonna flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
Little stain.
Little stain.
All right, well, what's your guys' votes?
Tribe Called Quest.
Boy. God,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I don't listen to either of these. Literally,
I go Lil Wayne on this one.
I'll go Lil Wayne. I honestly, I'll go. I'm changing. I'm a Tribe Called Quest. I'm going to go with that because I personally hate Lil Wayne.
You mean Little Stain?
His guitar, his fake guitar skills. I just can't.
His fake guitar skills.
That's Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins, yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins. That's a great meme.
Yeah.
God
damn it!
Oh,
the Beatles.
It's JT's Beatles.
No, I know. It is the Beatles, but it's just, if there is a debate to be had,
painful.
It's painful for me.
Yeah, to make a choice between
this difficult for me, it would have had been the Beatles versus Johnny Cash.
Right.
That would have been a tough one.
But the ratio of forehead in the Beach Boys picture is far greater. So I feel I mean, these two right here alone. It's there's the prime real estate that exists on those guys' heads.
Nirvana.
Pearl Jam.
You guys are gonna make
Nirvana. Pearl Jam had one good record. One and a half good records.
Pearl Jam. Okay. Follow me here. I love that one Nirvana record, never mind. But then after that,
dude, In Utero is so good. And their first album, Bleach, was even better.
I prefer the
I hate those vocals.
I prefer the versus the I like the
grunt
power that Pearl Jam brings. The grunts. Yeah.
I challenge you, outside of 10.
Outside, you want to challenge me outside? Let's go.
Of what is it, Mythology or whatever it was. Tell me
Uh-huh.
one good Pearl Jam record.
Black. Oh, the out song record? No, honestly,
Record.
I'm more about the hits.
No Code.
Never even heard of that one.
Wow.
Their
Shit.
last one wasn't very good.
No, Gigaton was like, but yeah, but a lot of stuff before it was pretty good.
Uh-oh,
God.
Kyle.
Come on. How is this one even?
Kyle.
This one can't even be a question.
The
Like that's
Green Day. I'm
literally
gonna have to
like
go Green Day. I don't
Buzz
even know who the
Day.
Buzzcocks are.
I
really
know
don't.
they are. They're like a punk band.
it's
know,
British
that guy's
punk,
suit
but
is
they're not even
huge.
close.
That guy's suit is huge. It's huge. Huge.
I mean, it's Metallica, right? I mean,
Ozzy? No, I'm just kidding. Metallica.
I don't know though.
well, again, here we go
Hold
with
on.
this though. Is Sabbath with without Ozzy and without Dio, they did have like a string of like 4 or 5 records that were just
I'll be
kind of
honestly, I go Black Sabbath for one major reason, and that's because Metallica's first album, I wasn't huge on it, right? Their very first album, it was like, right?
Kill
And
'Em
then you
All's
had
okay.
what?
Kill 'Em All's okay.
Yeah, then you have
Not great.
a phenomenal, groundbreaking albums with Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All's, and then the Black Album is the downfall.
Oh,
But
I
like that's
disagree.
it.
Hard disagree on that. Black
That's
Album
that.
is like the peak. That's the pinnacle.
Well, okay. It's like eating an ice cream cone that is amazing, but then you realize it's going to give you food poisoning the next day. So follow me here. So you're like, that was amazing, but I know what's coming after this is absolute crap. So like that's kind of the Black Album for you. It was damn near tasty, flawless, but then you're gonna get sick the next day, and everything that you put in you is coming out.
I mean,
And
same
that's
argument for Sabbath though.
No, but Sabbath had long. I mean, Dio playing with them was amazing. I mean, Sabbath had their list of hits makes Metallica's hits look like freaking child play. Like, what I'm
I
trying to
wouldn't go
say?
that
Like,
far. I respect what you're
it
saying. I don't know if
does.
I'd go that far.
It does, bro. They have so many good songs. Like, I mean, you could fill like a list of 15, 20 songs, whereas it was like Metallica, like, I don't know. They fizzle out faster, but no, hey. Go with Metallica.
Strokes or the Killers. It's got to be the Killers.
Killers.
The Killers. Yeah, definitely.
Fleetwood Mac or the Pretenders. Fleetwood Mac.
I
don't care too much one way or another, but I go to Fleetwood Mac.
I mean, yeah,
both are great, but it's hard to choose. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac is fine.
Yeah.
Velvet Underground or Velvet Revolver. Now we're just going based on the fact they both have Velvet in their name.
Yeah, Velvet Revolver for sure. Yeah.
Rolling Stones or Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh God,
damn it. Man.
Yeah, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Chili Peppers for me too.
Yeah, sorry, JT.
Sorry, I know Jagger lived. Keith Richards was like 20 minutes away from me too. That's the other thing. So.
Yeah. He lives 20 minutes away.
He
David
does.
Bowie or Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Michael Jackson.
And that was tough for me because I have David Bowie's greatest hits and they are phenomenal. But I'll be honest with you, like I was talking with JT about this. Like there's 25 or more songs of Michael Jackson that I know, and know all the song and like, you know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. Like to be able to pull off that many songs. I mean, he does have a cheat going back into the Jackson 5 and like, even into his 90s. I mean, Remember the Time is one of my top songs like ever, top songs ever. And then I remember putting that on the list for you, Kyle, I think maybe. Yeah, like it's tough. I love the Bowinator, but Jackson's got to take it.
Nicki Minaj or Lauryn Hill? Nicki Minaj for me.
Lauryn Hill for sure.
Lauryn Hill. JT.
Like we're talking. If Nicki Minaj is here, Lauryn Hill is like, go look. She's here. You can't even see her.
Why does it always come down to me?
because we want to make sure you leave this feeling completely conflicted and you hate yourself by the end of it.
I hate myself right now. It's not even working.
Let me put it this way.
Nicki Minaj's Starships, great song.
I'm the
Those
lawyer
early
for
Nicki songs are great.
Nicki Minaj is a gimmick. She's literally a product of a modern generation sound, where Lauryn Hill has basically been an influence to music throughout the R&B community, and it's continued to have those influences, where Nicki Minaj is not going to influence anything. She is literally the
I think she
bubblegum
already has.
freaking. Yeah, but she's
All
influenced
the
for the
current
worst.
wave of
You know what I
well,
mean? It's like someone saying, we don't need
For
4
our
tires, we need
taste.
3.
For our
We need
taste,
3.
though.
Yeah. Like, imagine that though. Someone's like, we need 3 tires on cars, not 4. And it's like everyone's driving around and scraping on the ground. And that's what Nicki Minaj has done to music. She hasn't made it better. Dude, are you like watching TV while you're over there? What's going on?
I'm monitoring the chat board. I'm sorry.
I'm monitoring the chat board.
All right. Here's the deal. So, all right. I don't like Nicki Minaj whatsoever. I never have. The moment I heard Starships, no offense, Kyle, I actually puked.
Great song.
Great song.
Super
This is
deep.
a
Great song.
I love how Kyle ends that. Like, he's like,
But-
great song.
But at the same, no, hold on. But at the same time, I only know Lauryn Hill like from like one. I only know the name Lauryn Hill. I can't identify any songs by Lauryn Hill.
He was in the Fugees,
So-
man. He was strumming my pain with his finger.
Thank you for telling me.
Doo-dun.
What? So based on the fact that this is really hard for me because I don't know. I only know one song by one, and I only know the name of the artist by the other. It's terrible.
Tough.
Just put Nicki Minaj down.
Hell yeah.
I just threw up my mouth.
All because I don't
JT.
Stooges or Blink 182. I mean, Blink 182.
The Stooges. Sorry. I hate Blink 182.
JT.
Put down Blink.
Ugh.
Oh my
Ah.
God.
Yes, or no doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No doubt. Yeah.
No doubt, son.
That's easy.
9 Inch
Oh,
Nails.
Marilyn Manson, hands down.
9 Inch Nails for sure.
Ah, all right, fine.
Yeah.
Hendrix.
John Mayer, just because Jimi
Hendrix.
Hendrix.
John Hendrix.
John
Jimmy
Hendrix.
Mayer.
John
Jimmy Mayer. Mimi Jayer. I'll say Jimi Hendrix.
Jimmy Mayer, yeah. You mean Jimi Hendrix?
Jimmy Mayer.
The Who or the Guess Who?
Oh.
Guess the Who.
You guessed the Who.
I guess. I'm going to go with
Yeah,
the Who.
that helps.
Yeah, the Who.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Nas for sure.
J
Nas for-
fucking Z.
You guys, hold on. Pause here. Pause.
Yeah.
Time out. You guys are the reason why when we hit this button that says I want everybody listening, all 2.5 people watching right now.
There's
That's
a lot
like
of
a
people watching,
baby
actually.
and her mom holding the baby. For all you watching, when we hit that button, it is going to say we have bad taste music, and I want you to look below me right now. I just disappeared. I want you to see these 2 gentlemen. These are the reasons why we are going to get a bad rating. But let's continue.
Oh my God.
The National or Arcade Fire, they both suck. Sorry, they're
I
both
like Arcade Fire.
absolutely
I actually like
terrible.
Arcade Fire.
I'll go with whatever
Arcade
you
Fire.
guys say. on
Just
this
put
one.
Arcade Fire down. I mean, I'm not the
Yeah,
biggest
you
fan
just
of
want to see a real Arcade Fire. You're a terrible person, JT.
Oh, all right. You ready to see the result?
Yes, I told you.
Terrible taste in music.
Oh God, Rebecca. Is that Rebecca
Awful.
Black?
Oh,
It
not
sure
her.
is.
Friday.
I pleaded, please, but you got
Like
Nicki
this is because
Minaj really.
Yeah.
you took
Nicki
the quiz
Minaj-
before us.
Dude, we went from being at the airport to a strip club. We were picking Nicki
See,
Minaj and freaking.
But essentially, they just wanted us to pick the pretentious choices. If we picked all the pretentious music nerd Anthony Fantano choices, we would have gotten good taste in music.
Boo. Yeah, well,
Take that,
I'll
Anthony
tell you what.
Fantano.
There's music that's fun, and then there's music that's like real and has like substance to it. And like, there's nothing wrong with having those like junk food type of artists in your library, as long as it's like, you don't have their entire discography. So I feel like saying I like
What was
Nicki
that, Mike?
Minaj or
Discography?
the old discography. If you had Nicki Minaj's whole discography, and basically like love all of her
I
music.
can't.
Yeah, I know. I can't even say that without. Then you're giving into like too much of a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with having some junk food around, but you need substance, So
Oh my God, what kind of
what
Jedi?
are you gonna do? What do you
All
got?
right.
What do you?
Well,
That's a conversation for another
JT,
time.
you're gonna
Oh.
introduce the last
Yeah.
segment here, the new segment.
Yes, our new segment for a couple of weeks is coming up right here, right now.
Yes.
So we have for those who are listening to us, we have 6 albums picked out on a wheel, and the wheel has 2 albums by each of us picked out. So there's 6 albums total on the wheel. When we
want to
spin the
introduce our
wheel,
albums.
what? Stop it! when we spin the wheel, we have to listen to the album, and then we're gonna review it next week. We're gonna be talking about it. So whatever album it lands on, and we listen to it in depth. We study it, we analyze it, whatever. Analyze it, I don't know, and we just review it the next week. Hopefully that sounds okay with you. So let's spin the wheel. I'm getting trippy.
Whoa.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
So
what a spin.
the first spin, the first one is my pick. It's Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic. So next week will be our discussion on Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic. So and then we're gonna rate it, we're gonna discuss it and all that jazz.
There you go, bro.
Super duper excited about that one, bro.
That's
yeah,
it, man.
waka.
My name is Mike. That's JT. That's Kyle. We have bad taste in music.
we have terrible taste
in music.
We have terrible taste in music. We have terrible taste. But yeah, so our next show is on to Aerosmith Toys in the Attic. And we'll keep doing the wheel for the next couple of weeks because there's no major releases coming out until April, right?
There's a couple in March.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out on our end. If we're gonna review a new album or just keep going with this, we'll figure that out with there. But next week will be Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic, their 1975 classic album.
Woo!
Woo! Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap it up?
That's it, man.
Nope.
Cool. Well, that's gonna do it for us here on our Monday night here with Career Retrospectives right here on the Super Review Show. We want to thank you all for watching, listening. Some of you guys were in the chat board jumping out at us and screaming at us left and right, saying that album was. I know. We all know what that was going on. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, listening. However you enjoyed us tonight. Don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts, simply at the Super Review Show, and follow Kyle's other podcast, Q&A.
Q&A. He's the Q.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere. Amazon. We're on everything.
Nice.
I think I enticed him to do his own podcast. I will say that. Good, proud of you. Good job. And you can find Mike working or doing something.
Shopping. Yeah. Come over to Home Depot Fish Kill and I'll literally probably just tell you not to come through my line and just leave me alone. But still, appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah. There you go.
Oh God.
Under the Home Depot.
But yeah, thanks so much for watching, listening. Have you enjoyed us? Remember to follow us on our social media accounts. Check out Kyle's podcast as well. And tune in next week for another episode of Career Retrospectives right here on the Super Review Show. So stay safe, take care, and be awesome.